there is some pushback here in the USA. You talked about Sweden. Germany is another major player right now in Europe where a lot of chipping parties are taking place in Germany.
Chipping parties, that's what we heard.
Chipping parties.
There's no salsa involved. This isn't chipping in your hand.
Yeah, so they're chipping parties. People are gathering in parties to be chipped. And it's a celebration. It's entertainment. But Sweden and Germany are the leading countries. But here in the United States, there is some pushback. Very little. 2 states that I know of, there are bills in state legislatures to ban the microchipping of humans. Nevada, a push to ban forced human microchipping. Now, see, it's forced.
Yeah.
Not banning microchipping.
Right.
Just you can't compel somebody to be microchipped. It says the push to ban forced human microchipping is back again after dying without a vote the last time lawmakers took up the debate. This is the Las Vegas Review-Journal, and the bill is sponsored by Nevada Assemblyman Skip Daly of Reno. In Arkansas, KATV reporting regulating microchips for employees, focus of legislation proposed by Arkansas lawmaker. And then, a year or so ago, there was a Wisconsin company that actually required their employees to be microchipped.
Yeah, if I remember right.
Yes, 3 Square Market was the name of the company.
3 Square, that's right. That 50, this is when the story broke, 50 employees had already agreed to be microchipped.
Including the man's wife and 2 children.
Yes. And then I think the biggest story I've seen in the past year, this was last November from the Telegraph in London, major U.S. companies preparing to microchip employees. There we go.
Wow.
London Telegraph, November 10, 2018.
And man right there on the front, he's from Biohacks International, the group that partnered with 3 Square Market, the first company in the United States to have microchipped employees.
Well, what I recall about this article, because we talked about it on True News last fall, the Telegraph said British companies are planning to microchip some of their staff in order to boost security and to stop them accessing sensitive areas. Biohacks, a Swedish company that provides human chip implants, told the Telegraph that it was in talks with a number of UK legal and financial firms to implant staff members with the devices. Now listen to this. One prospective client, which cannot be named, is a major financial services firm in Great Britain with hundreds of thousands of employees. My guess is it's HSBC.
Yes.
Right.
And my guess is also why we weren't allowed in that session at Davos in 2018.
So in Great Britain, if you're working for banks, if you want to keep your job, you're going to be microchipped. Yeah. If you're working for any kind of security company, you're going to be microchipped. So to say that, oh, this is a long way off, that's going to happen a long time from now. No, it's happening now.
Right.
And within a very short period of time, this could become mandatory to have a job in the financial services area or in national security or in the military.
Big one, medical, we heard. Remember, we heard a lot of this in the presentations. Say you have diabetes and the sensor will alert that your insulin is low. These things are going to be implemented in a lot of reasons for the medical. If you're in an accident and you need to get to the emergency room, they'll scan you and see what.
And when does it become common and then mandatory that infants are microchipped at birth? And then it becomes mandatory like a vaccine.
Right.
And parents who refuse the microchipping of their infants will be prosecuted for child abuse.
Well, it's the same way with those that oppose vaccinations. I mean, think of the way that they're treated now. If a parent decides not to vaccinate their child, in some places around the world now, you can be criminally held liable for that.
That's right.
And that's eventually what's going to be
And if you
happening.
notice, in the past 2 weeks, there is a major propaganda campaign against people who are concerned about the safety of vaccines. It's popping up everywhere.
There's a hearing actually this week in Congress on the subject.
Yes.
They're concentrating on a young man who turned against his parents'
mother.
beliefs.
Yes,
his mother's.
and they're making him into a hero.
He's like a spokesman
because
now
he
for
stood
this.
up against his mother. His mother didn't want him to be vaccinated. Well, what does that have to do with microchips? They're going to use the same propaganda.
Yes.
They're laying the foundation for
You're
this.
an unfit parent who refuses to microchip your child. How will your child get an education? How will your child get access to health care? You're denying your child access to the benefits of the world for your crazy religious beliefs.
Right.
That's going to be the statements, the arguments, and they're going to take your children from you.
Yes, for their safety.
Social services is going to come and take your children from you.
We
You
heard.
think this isn't going to happen? Just wait till the 2030s.
And the medical case is so important to bring up. Matthew brought this up, is that it actually is one of the cases that requires integration with 5G technology. You can't have a chip that's supposed to keep you healthy or keep you safe, especially if you have diabetes and other things that need to be monitored constantly, because with 5G, it finally gives the latency requirement to get updates per second. Because when most of you mentioned for security, that doesn't necessarily require integration with 5G right away for it to work. The health modifications do. So this will be another push along with 5G for the integration.